It's going to be really all right. So for today's topic, and first of all, welcome everybody. And some of you guys are school's already started 2 weeks ago or a month ago, but some of you guys are starting from the next week. Okay, so what I suggest as a teacher is stay focused with your school, know the syllabus, and then see what's going on. Turn in your work on time, keep your grade better from the beginning. So that way it's going to be much easier as you go through. Okay. All right. So quickly, today's topic, we're going to just go over some quadratics and some other polynomial functions. Okay. So quadratic functions. And this quadratic function is a big concept, especially for the algebra 1. And also in the algebra 2, you see a lot of the quadratic functions, and probably you might remember the quadratic equation, factoring trinomials, and all those things is related to the quadratics itself. Okay, so the first of all, as we look into this, and we can write a quadratic equations, basically ax squared plus bx plus c. This is a standard form of a quadratic equation. Okay. Now, when you have a quadratic equation, first of all, let's take a little bit smaller one, and then we can go along with the little tough problems. So let's do a factoring. Factor x squared plus 8x plus 16. Go ahead and then try this one, factoring. If you remember this, from the long. But if you don't remember, I will explain it to you one more time. But let's try with a simple factoring first and see what you think, okay? Okay, I see some answers, that's good. Very good, very good. See, a lot of you guys remember now, that's good. So, yes.
Mr.
Yep.
Rama,
Mm-hmm.
can we look at one that does not have a coefficient of 1 on like x squared?
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna do on the factoring. Are you talking about factoring?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so we're gonna a couple of questions on the factoring today. Okay. So that we get a really good idea, but we're just starting with this. So obviously, yes. So this question, definitely you can factor that way. You guys put it already. Now, when you do the factoring, I just want to go a little bit of concept here. So you can get the 16 when you multiply factors, you have to get a 16. And then when you add or subtract factors, then you get a middle term. So your factors of 16 could be 1 times 16, 2 times 8, 4 times 4. So 1 and 16 multiply, I get 16. But when I add or subtract, I won't get 8. So this doesn't work. Same thing, 2 and 8 doesn't work. 4 plus 4 gives me 8. And then 4 times 4 gives me 16. So my factors are these. So you can write it x plus 4 and the x plus 4. Okay. So this is the one way to write it out. And but for the SAT or you can get some formulas for this. Formulas are basically, if you see any question like this pattern, which is x squared plus 2ax plus 2ab. I can write it 2ab, that might be easier. I'll write it this better. Okay. A squared plus 2ab plus b squared. If I see anything in this format, I can write it a plus b whole squared. This is the rule. Means If the same question is given to me, I can see that x squared plus 16 is 4 squared, and then 2x times 4, which is 8x. So I can simply write it x plus 4 squared. Okay, so basically that's the basic idea behind it. So I'm going to give you some rules, and then if you see something in that format, and you can apply the basic polynomial rules itself. Okay, now a squared plus 2ab plus 2ab already we did. 2 minus 2ab plus b squared, which is a minus b, and then a minus b. Similarly, a squared minus b squared, a plus b times a minus b. These are the some rules we can apply as you work on some questions. Okay, and then most of the times you may find some questions on a squared minus b squared rule. Like for example, if I take a question, I want to factor out x squared minus 64. I can take 64, or maybe let me see, 16. Let's say if I want to factor this one, right? Factor. We'll give it a try and see what you guys think factors for this one, and I'll explain a little bit more. Okay. Good. Yeah. So I think we did this one right there, right? So this is the a squared minus b squared format, x squared minus 4 squared, and simply I can use this rule, x plus 4 or x minus 4, or you can write x minus 4, x plus 4, it doesn't matter, which is about the same. Good to go. And that's the basic idea behind that. This. Okay. Now, once you have this, so now let's look at it. What type of questions, obviously these are not SAT questions. It's just a basic concept behind. But what type of questions do we see in the test? So I'm going to put one quick question here, and also we can go over some homework problems if you have any. And today Faizan asked me a really good question. That one is a really important one in order to, for the test point of view, and try to understand the concept point of view. Okay, let's try this one first. Maybe we can try some practice test today. All right, go ahead and then try this one. Let me see. Arhan, can you please read this question?
Which of the following is a factor of 6x squared plus 7x plus 2?
So which of the following could be the factor, or the one of the factors of the given one? Go ahead and give it a try and see what you get. Okay. Good. Nice. Yes. So obviously, since you have, when you have a coefficient here, it's really hard to get some factors sometimes. One thing what you can do when you have a coefficients like that, you multiply these two at the end. So that's 12. So find the factors for 12. So 12 times, 6 times 2 doesn't work, so maybe 3 times 4. So what you can write this equation is 6x squared plus 7x plus 2. We can also write it 6x squared, 3x plus 4x. I split that 7x like that. Okay, so when you do that one, you can factor these two and factor these two. So I can factor out 3x in this. So I get 2x plus 1. And also I can factor 2 in this one. So I get 2x plus 1. So obviously I can see these are same. So I can put that together. And then 3x plus 2. So one of the factors, and you guys can look at it. So it looks like is a good one. So you can do that too. Okay, just the factors. And that's the one way of looking at these questions too. Good to go. Let's see. Right.
So does the order matter? 4x first or 3x?
No, it doesn't matter. Let's say that's a good question though. Sometimes you may have like, okay, what if I write a 4x first? Okay, so if I write the 6x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 2. So now I factor these two. I can factor out what 2x. So I end up with 3x plus 2. Now I have to factor 1 because nothing common. This can be 3x plus 2. So I can pull out these two. I can write it 2x plus 1. Okay, so same thing. Good question. Doesn't matter which one you write first. Okay, you're getting the same answer there. Okay, that's a good one. That's definitely a good one. And then next one is the polynomials. In this polynomials, sometimes I told you, right, that's 25% questions are pretty easy. And the polynomial addition questions are the part of the easy questions. So the easy questions are basically, I'm going to put in one question for you guys. See if we can remember the polynomial addition. Polynomial addition is basically you add the like terms, basically combining the like terms. What does that polynomial addition means? So so in the polynomial addition, definitely we want to see like terms, basically combine the like terms. So let's give a try this one. I will explain that question to you, and then we can do some practice questions out there too. Okay? So I don't want you to heavily do concepts today, but we can catch up with some homework questions and also practice tests today. Let's give a try on this one. So follow simple addition, but first do the distributive property. Good. Yeah, send me those answers too. Okay, that's good. That's good. And these questions are easiest. I mean, easy in the sense is like, and sometimes you may feel like, as I mentioned, like, are they going to give me these questions also? Like that type of question here. Okay. Yeah, if you're not sure, that's fine. Totally, you can put up there. Okay. Now, when you do these problems, guys, is the faster way. Do the question on the paper itself. I mean, like what I mean to say is, okay, let me explain it to you guys first. So first of all, I'm going to distribute this one, right? That's going to get 2x squared. So they're going to give me the 2x squared plus 2x, and then minus, I'm going to distribute this one here. So I can get x cubed plus x squared. Okay, now I can distribute that negative also, 2x squared plus 2x minus x cubed minus x squared. Obviously, you can put them in the order, the highest to the least. And then these are the like terms. I can combine them. X cubed, 2x squared minus x squared is 1x squared plus 2x. So this is the final answer for this. Okay. So this is the basic addition methods we can use. But my technique for this question, do it on the paper, on the question itself, like tip. Don't write the steps. So I can write, see right here is 2x squared. And then this is 2x. And then this is going to be a negative x cubed, negative x squared. Now I see that's negative x cubed. And then out of these two, one of my answer. And then x squared minus this is plus 1. So it has to be this. So I can choose this and then move on to it. Okay. So the speed, you got to increase the speed. Okay. That way, and you have time to spend on the word problems. Okay. Does that make sense? Really important to pick up the speed. The faster you do these questions, the better for you guys. Okay. All right. So let's see. These are the polynomial additions. So, and we can do some factoring questions, which is important for the test point of view. And then we can look into some quadratic equations and all. Okay. Let's do the factoring questions and test-based questions. Another one, next one. Let's go ahead and then try this one, and I'll put another question if you're done with this. Again, SAT or the SCT questions, they're always tricky. Tricky in the sense, the concept, if you know the concept behind, and you can answer them pretty easily. That's good. Okay, give it a try and see what you get. All right, I see some answers coming up. That's good. All right, let's see some answers. That's fine. Okay, if you get stuck with something, it's okay. And put them in the chat box. It's not a problem. We can go over them. But as we go through the questions, please pay close attention to it so that we can get the best out of that. Okay, so it's really important to pay close attention to them and then practice similar questions. Now, math is like, it's just a good repetition with the conceptual understanding. And you practice it, but you don't know the concept behind. And if they give you a different question, you may stop. But if you have a good concept, then you understand them, then you can do better. So for this question, obviously, the first one, and I see a couple of different answers out there. There are a couple of ways you can do this problem, okay? Watch this one carefully. So my confusion is, let's say if I multiply these two, a plus b and a minus b, I'm gonna get what? X squared minus 4 equals 0. Good to go? Then what you can do, now I can, since I know the x squared minus 4 is 0, I can add that. That's gonna be a positive 4. Everybody agree? Because I just add that and it's gonna get an x squared is positive 4. Now, I'll take this 4, plug it in here. Okay, so you plug it in here, that's gonna be a 14. It's a really logical question. And it's a cute question. I like it because sometimes when you solve this one, and you might thinking like, how do I get the x squared plus 10, right? But this way, it's as much easier. You solve for the x squared instead of x. You're gonna solve for the x squared, and then you can get the answer there. Okay, good to go. That's a good technique here. Okay, that's good. All right, next one. I'll see some answers up there. That's good. So this question is one of the famous question for the test. Famous in the sense is I see every test and I always see that question is there. Okay, so I strongly suggest you guys to give it a little try. And it's don't know, and if you don't understand, that's fine. We can get there. But just give it a try. Okay, so I see some answers coming up there. Okay, so eyes on the board so that we can get an idea on this question. Okay, ready? Eyes on the screen. So this is a famous question and really important. So first of all, and definitely first of all, when the kids see this question first time, first thing is like, I don't know the A, I don't know the K, and then what I'm finding here, okay? But this question is basically a simple multiplication and comparison question. So what that means is I can do the FOIL method. I'll tell you the technique in a minute, okay? First, let's do the regular method. So a minus 3, then a plus k, which is a squared plus 3a minus 18. Obviously, I can multiply these two, which is a squared plus ak, and then minus 3a, and then minus 3k. A squared plus 3a minus 18. Is this step is good, everybody? Understand? I just did a FOIL method. Now, after this one, what I'm going to do, I combine like terms. Like terms mean these two are the like terms. So I can factor this out. So what I can get is, so a I can factor out, I can get that k minus 3. Okay, minus 3k, which is this. But now I have to compare them carefully. That is really, really important thing. What does that mean? Comparison means if I see the a square and I see the a square. When I say two polynomials are the same, and it has to be the same. Let's say if they are equal, then these two should be equal. And then same thing with these two should be equal. Okay, that's the standard procedure for any polynomial functions. If I say two polynomial functions are same, then their square terms, x square terms, or all of them has to be the same. Okay, remember this. All right, guys. Now, since I have that idea, now I can compare them. Since you're asking only for the k, I don't need to worry about the rest of the stuff. Only thing this is I have to take care of, which is negative 3k. This is negative 18. So its k is positive 6. Okay, I'm telling you this problem is a very, very, very important one. And any practice test that I saw, even recent ones, they have this question. Okay, it gives a lot of conceptual understanding behind, making sure you guys.
Mr. R,
Yes.
could you explain how everything went into negative 3k equals negative 18?
Okay. All right. So let me go over one more time so that we can see some conceptual ways. Okay. Now, what we're doing is here in this question, when I say two polynomials are same, this polynomials are same, means x squared term has to be same. They gotta be equal. See, they are equal. Now this is the x term or the a term. This has to be same too. They gotta be same. And then same way, these two should be same. So that's the standard procedure for the polynomial function. Now, in this case, if I take these two are equal, I can say negative 3k is negative 18. So you can divide by negative 3 on both sides, you get a k value of 6. Okay, that's how you can get the answer for this one. Okay, so let's say if the same question comes under the test, and definitely I don't suggest to do all these steps, but I did it because I want you to make sure you guys understand. But in this test, what you got to do, this is what you got to do. Let's see. Now, when I look at this question, always remember, so since you guys heard from me, when two polynomials are same, the corresponding terms has to be same. Keep that in mind. That is the key for you. And then my technique in this question is, all I have to do, these two. I multiply these two, the last terms. That gives me what? Negative 3k. And I know these polynomials are same, that's negative 18. K is positive 6. Done. Done in one step, like that. Okay? This is the technique. The same question we have, and how much work we need to put that way, and then how much work we need to put this way. It's really important that you guys see that, understand that conceptual understanding in these questions. Good. Look at this one. See if you guys have a question, because this is familiar question. So, and we want to make sure the kids are really good at this. Good to go? Okay, awesome. And all the homework questions that I put them, they're really good questions for the test. Okay, so that's one of the reasons I send those links to you guys. Practice as many times. Okay, if you submit it, you got the answer scores. If you see a good, no, it's a good score, it's good. If not, then try one more time. Okay, and then ask me before, that way we can log in and then help you with that questions too. Good. Okay. And I'm going to pause a little bit here and see if you guys have any homework questions today or from the past homework. Let me get you guys a couple of minutes so you can check, and then you can tell me if you have homework questions on there.
I have one.
You have one, okay.
Yeah, I also got number 1 wrong. I thought I did it right. I guess not. Can you show me like what I did?
So I can take like a couple of questions and look at your own homework questions, guys, and see, and if you struggle with something or if you're stuck with something, and I really want to go over them too. Okay. So I know today's, what I mean is like today's like a long weekend, and some of you guys are not here. I understand that, because if you're traveling, something else is fine. But so that's one of the reasons I'm going to take it easy today, and then teach and help you guys with the homework questions and all. But that's going to be helpful too. So obviously it's good. Okay. All right. So you want to share the screen with me so I can take a picture of that? Faizan, who asked me?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, open that question and let me know when you're ready, so you can share the screen to me.
Yeah, I have it. I have the
Yeah.
question.
Go ahead. First question, can you make it a little bigger? Control plus. Oh, that's good. Let's see. First one. And we'll continue the polynomial concept next week also, okay? And don't stress about the polynomials at quadratic functions yet. But if you want to go advanced, you can try some quadratic functions so you can get an idea what is going on. But okay. All right, let's see. Rian, can you please read this question for us?
Sure. If f of x equals x squared plus x plus k, where k is constant, and f of 2 equals 10, what is the value of f of -2?
So in this question, the function f of x is given to you guys. So that's the first thing. We got a function already. Now f of 2 is given 10, means whenever you put a 2 in the function, you get the values. Okay, so you take this 2, plug in for the x. That's what you need to do. And that's given 10. So that means 2 squared plus 2 plus k, which is 10. Understand this step, everybody? Whenever they give you the function, that means you replace x with the whatever the number is given to you. So you replace it, you get that. And solve for the x or solve for the k. So that's a 6, take away 6, that's going to be a 4. K is 4. Okay, so the k is 4, but we're not done yet. They're asking f of -2. That's not they're asking basically. Because this is another thing, guys. I have seen a couple of kids, when you get the answer, whatever the answer you get like that, and you tend to jump in and then, oh yeah, I have K4. And the options, they give you the 4, and then you jump in right. You always remember what is the question is asking. Okay, that's what we need to answer. So whatever the question is asking, that's what you answer. So that way it's going to be much easier. Okay, f of -2. So I'll take the same function, but this time -2. So it's going to be -2 squared plus -2. Now I got the k is 4 to solve it, and you get the answer. Okay, that's good. Anybody else have some homework question that you want to pull out and ask? Yeah.
Yeah, I had a question.
Okay. Oh yeah, sure. Arhan, meantime, you pull out. Ara, yes?
I have a homework question as well.
Okay, from the SAT?
Not from the SAT.
The not SAT. Okay, then hold on for that, okay? And I
Okay.
can help you with the at the end. Let's see. I have a screenshot came out. How are you, Ara?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, I want to just add some quickly talk about the Ara quickly. And this kid is really, really hardworking kid, I can say, because I have him 2 or 3 years from now. He started from 7th grade, just learning the pre-algebra or algebra. And he, with our help, and then he worked hard. He completed the pre-algebra, and then in 8th grade, he took algebra 1. And then over the summer, we helped him to get through the geometry, and he's taking algebra 2. I was like so impressed with the kid. And so good stories from you guys. I'm really happy to see all these things. Okay, good work though. Okay, so the density of the aluminum is 2.7 grams per centimeter cubed. How many grams does it need? Does 12 centimeter cube aluminum weight? Okay, go ahead and write it down, or try this one first, and then we can check it. Give it a try first. Okay. So if you guys need some density formula, I can put it on there too. But if you guys are already see some answers coming out, that's good. That's good. Nice. Okay. Okay. All right. So Renzi, you're good. So can you tell me, like, what did you do?
Okay, so if you see that the density of aluminum is 2.7 grams per centimeter cubed,
Right.
and there are 12 centimeter cubed, that's the volume of the aluminum, you just multiply 12 by 2.7, and that gives you the weight.
So the reason behind these, if you look at the volume or the density formula, density is mass over volume. Okay, guys. So this is the density equal mass over volume. Okay. Now, so how much? What's weight means? We're finding the mass. So all you have to do is bring the formula out of these. So mass is nothing but density times volume. Okay. So since you have your density is given to you and also the volume is given to you, just multiply them. 2.7 centimeter grams per centimeter cube, and then volume is 12 centimeter cube. So this cross out, so your mass is 2. Yeah, multiply those two, you get the 32 point something. Make sense, everybody? Yeah. Sometimes, like, I'm telling you, there's some questions easier, but we need to know what's behind it. Okay. Yeah. So the SAT questions or the ACT questions, they're not difficult. They're logic behind it. Okay. Any other homework questions? Anybody else? Let me get you a chance for the other people too. And then I can jump on to you, okay? Yeah. Anybody else have another question? Ara, what is your question is?
My question, it basically gives an equation and asks us to solve it. I don't really know how to solve it though.
Do you have it on the screen?
Yeah,
All right, you want to share it?
yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me stop sharing. Go.
Can you see it?
Mm-hmm. Can you make a little bigger screen?
Yeah. Is this good?
Yep, I got it. So practice as many times, guys. I understand, for you in a student point of view, you have a lot of things to work on. Definitely agree, 100% I agree. But we are all working for a common goal. Like you want to get the best score and you want to get that scholarships. And in order to get that one, it's not easy. Nothing comes for free in this country. You guys know that. And the only way you can get better is try. Okay, so when you try it, you put your efforts, and then if you still don't get it, that's a different story. But if I don't try my 100%, then I can blame somebody like, hey, I'm not getting the results. Then it's not right thing. I'll try my best, and obviously we can see that scores out there. Okay, yeah.
Do I have enough plastic?
I'll check. Okay. All right, so let me. So solve the equation, right? In this one, obviously, anytime you have problems like this, get a common denominator, okay? Common denominator is 2, means 5, 4, and 10. What's a common denominator? So what goes in all three, or LCM, we can say. I think it's 20 goes in everything, okay? All you have to get is 20 in the denominator. So this one I can multiply by 4. This one I can multiply by 5. This one I can multiply by 2. This one I can multiply by 20. And once I see that same denominator across, I can cross this out. All I have to deal with this top part. So I can write a 4n plus 4. I distribute it. And then here is negative 5n minus 25 equal 2n plus 4 minus 40. Check this one if you guys understand or not. If you don't understand, I can explain it one more time. Okay, so what I did, I get the common denominator. So once I get the common denominator, yeah.
Why did you square n plus 2? It's like multiply.
Oh, no, it's not square. I meant to multiply by 2.
And then so how did you get 40?
I distributed basically. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. It's 2. Basically, I multiply by 2 on top and bottom. So it's basically it's times 2. I distribute this. So I get 2n plus 4. Good to go. Now just combine like terms. This and this put together. That's negative n minus 21.
Where's the basic?
And minus 36. Okay. Now bring the same ones together. Add n on both sides. It's going to be a 3n. Add 36. That's going to be what? Subtract. It's 5, 15. And it's 5. the common denominator is 20. Oh, the common denominator means like what number goes in all of them. That's what we're looking at. Okay. So the 20 goes in 5 and 20 goes in 4, 20 goes in 10. So you have to look at that. Okay. Good to go. Mm-hmm. No. All good. All right, that's good. Let me see. Anybody else have another questions? It's a good time to ask questions. Please ask more questions.
Yeah, I have a question for the homework.
Yeah.
It's number 11.
Number 11. Do you have it on the screen?
Yeah, I can screen share.
Oh, here. Yeah, let me stop share. Good. Can you make the screen a little bigger? Or Control+. Okay, that's good. All right, let's share that one. Let come. Oh, there. I hate this circles. Was I telling the other girl there? In 2000, right? In 2000, first time when I was doing my computer science. On that time, I had a computer like big television size computer monitor. And you know, I had started up and it takes 2 minutes to operating system runs and everything. And then after that, it connected to the internet. And then I opened my Gmail. It loads like tick, 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 little bit. So it's so frustrating. When I get at that time, it's like it's normal, but now it's frustrating because you know, it takes time to load. But I understand because I have a lot of files, so it takes a little time. Okay. Anyways, okay. What's time? All right. Try this one. If anybody did this one, I want you guys to give it a try first, and then I will explain it to you right away. Okay. Okay, let's keep trying. So this one, all right, let me explain it because how we can get a little break up there. So first of all, head checks is moving it. Give me 1 second, guys. Monitor got disconnected. One second. What are you doing? 1 minute, guys. Connect this one to that. You'll overlap one. There. Yeah, that's cool. There we go. 1 second, guys. My external monitor got disconnected. No, it's good. Back on. So first of all, head checks. This function, which is this, is the whole thing as x. Think of the x, and then you take this one, plug it into here, and replace with the x with that. Okay, that's the composite function it's called. Now, if I plug that one there, so what I'm going to get in place of x, I'm going to write a x plus 1 over 2 and minus 1 squared. Do you guys understand this? Let me check. If you don't understand, frankly, let me know. Okay. I'm not worried about if you don't know it. It's okay. I can repeat it one more time. Good. So what we did, this is the x value. I replace x with here because hx goes to the fx function. Okay. Now, once I have it, just simplify it. It's going to be, get the same thing in the last time our last question. So they get a common denominator. So it's going to be x plus 1 minus 2 squared. Or I can write a x minus 1 squared. Remember the formula we did it in today's class? The top one I can write a squared minus 2ab plus b squared over 2 squared is 4. Okay, good to go. Everybody understand? That's how you solve it. Good. Alrighty, it's already 2:54. Let's take a quick break. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pause this recording or stop the phone. Okay, welcome back, and thank you for being here too. Quickly, guys, before I start with the so the English reading and writing part, and a couple of things I want you to guys self-check. One thing, when you guys are working with me, I want you to think of a couple of things always. Okay, so for me as a teacher, I want to make sure you guys are doing well, right? Excel in every situations, including your parents. So your parents wants to do well too. It's the same way with me. But whatever the situations comes, like obviously in school you have a school homework and then some friends, games, video games. So a lot of the things, Netflix, all these things are a lot of distractions for you. But always remember, you are working for some particular reason. Okay. So when you are here, when I ask you to turn off the cameras, the reason behind is I don't want to have any distraction for you. If I have somebody walking behind, everybody tends to look at it like, oh, what's going on? So that's one of the reasons I asked you to turn off your cameras. And that way you're paying more close attention to the concepts than rather what's going on and back and forth. Okay. And the second thing, guys, whenever I sent you homework, practice questions, stay focused with them. So when I write down the notes, please follow them. Okay, did I check this? Did I check this? Did I check this? Did I check this? Okay, so if you didn't do that, okay, make sure you write some little note. Oh yeah, I have to finish this one. Because the reason behind is, you guys are not in a middle school, right? In the middle school is a different story. Man, I have to tell the student like, hey, you got to do this and you got to turn in your homework. But when it comes to the high school, your teachers won't respond to that. You got to turn in your homework. And if you don't turn in your homework, your grades are going to go down. So it's more responsible. And then for me, as I can say, is respectful, one way, respect my students because they know it, because they're kind of like grown up. Okay. And the same expectation from you guys too. If anything work is given to you guys, please complete them. Okay. Because if you don't do your work, or maybe if you complete your work out there, probably you might have a little difficulty to answer the questions, right? You know what I'm saying? If you understand the concepts and also do a little practice, then you have some questions you can ask. Okay, then that way you see that improvement going up. It's really important you put 200%. Okay, and please do something. You're not doing for somebody else. I want to tell you this 100%. And you are not working for me, or you're not working for because your parents ask you to do. Because this is going to be helpful for you. Okay, tell you this one all the time. Okay, as if you look at it, your parents' point of view, at some point your grandparents, they're not helping your parents anymore. You guys understand? Because they are the grown up. They have their jobs, and they have to take care of themselves and then you guys. And one day you're gonna grow up, right? So you go to college and you get a job, whatever. And this support we're putting in place, it's gonna help you. Okay. And I will be in your life probably a couple of years, maybe 1 or 2 years. And then you can say like, oh yeah, I remember Mr. Rama helped me, but you're gonna lead your life. But what I'm saying is, in a simple words, please put your 100%, okay? And that's how you can get the best out of these classes. Okay. So all the techniques we're working, you do a little practice, ask more questions, and keep working on, there should be good to go. Okay, awesome. So before we go this one, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give you guys a quick test. Give me one second. So one thing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a quick practice. So this time I'm gonna check on how you guys are with the real test, okay? So I'm gonna place one of the Google Forms right here, but this is a writing practice test. And this writing practice test, and I wanna see where you guys are in terms of the writing practice, okay? So let me copy this, and I'm gonna give you guys 15 minutes to work on this test. This is a real practice, like one of the SAT practice tests, okay? So there's only one passage. I want you to guys complete that one, and then we're gonna go back and then review those answers. That way we can see where we are in terms of the writing. But obviously next week, we're gonna teach more techniques, continue from the last week, because I don't want to start a new topic and when we don't have the other people up here. But at the same time, we're gonna review one of the real tests so you can see where I'm standing in terms of like, what is my strength in writing practice test, okay? So I will send this link to you guys. Okay, click on that link and you'll see a Google form opens up, and there is a passage in it and there are some questions in it. So there are 10, let's see. Let's see, did I open the right one? Let's see. Okay, wait, this is the wrong one I put it on. Hold on, guys, just a minute. I think I did put it wrong one. Give me a second. That's not the writing practice test. That's a practice test. Okay, there you go. Next one I'm coming. So sorry about the last one. There you go. The second link. Okay, the second link is a writing practice test. So there are a couple of questions, not a lot. And let's take a 15 minutes. There are 11 questions in it. It's one of the real-time practice test from the test. And that way we can see where we are in terms of the writing practice test, okay? So I'm gonna give you guys 15 minutes and please work and read the passage carefully, put all the efforts and then submit it, okay? After 15 minutes, I want you to guys submit it, whether you complete or not. So that way, at least I can get it in see some way where we need to put some extra practice on that. All right, I'll stop talking and I'm gonna stop share this one too. So let's everybody work on that one. I'm gonna give you 15 minutes to work on that paper and we will go over the answers in the class right now, okay? After this one, I'm gonna pause the recording also. Okay, let me share my screen. Let's see, where is it? All right, let me share it one more time. Okay, so again, as I mentioned to you guys, and try, okay? So we need to pick up the speed also along with it, because the speed helps you to get better at these ones. So let's go over quickly the answers itself, so we can see, so if you have a mistake, in case you did it correctly, that's really good. But in case if you miss it, then we can check that out there too. Okay. All right. So as on the screen, so that way, and simultaneously you can check your answers too. That way we should be good to go. Now the first one is if you look at it, so one of the writing passages, it's always important that's they underline, and so the words or vocabulary, and it could be a grammar, it could be anything. You always ask you there is no change, or some other thing you can replace it with something, and all those things out there. So if you look at it, see, the first question is regardless. And if you look at this, which one should we keep it same, or if we should change something? And I see a lot of you guys did answer really good. And then obviously, if you look at it, any other ones, however, or furthermore, the relation between the two sentences, regardless. So regardless is like if you look at it, it means in spite of something. Okay, so in spite of something. But if you say however, that indicates the contrast. But if it says furthermore, it means in addition. Okay, so the best answer for this one is for example. Okay, the best answer for this one is for example, because for example it connects logically the two sentences, and also correctly indicates the flow. In the second sentence is the household waste, like a paper, glass, aluminum, garbage. Okay, so the best answer for this one is the D is the best answer there. All right, let's see next. Question number 2. Okay, and the question number 2, which choice maintains the style and the tone? And we're going to talk about this style and tones in writing techniques. Okay, we're going to talk about that one as we go through. But now in this question, what is the tone or the style of the author, basically? Okay, so if you look at this question here, in this one, we're looking at question number 2. If you see this one, the verb, if I look at it one by one, eliminate, that means it's remove. Okay, so that could be a little bit of better replacement for that one. But if I look at it, outstanding or closing the door on, so this one, let's say if I say outstanding, it's generally used when you're referring something that act the forcefully you remove a person. Okay, so oustings. Okay, ousting is basically you take the person like forceful. But if you look at the closing the doors on, it's usually means shutting out the possibility of something happening or being willing to consider an idea. Okay, so that's the close the door. But in this case, B is the best answer. It's eliminating. Okay, number 2, B is the best option for this case. Okay. And one thing also, whenever we answer these questions, look at not only looking at the right answer, also check on why the other ones are not correct. Okay, so in that case, what happens is you're focusing on, okay, why this is not the right answer, so that way you have a better idea and better clear in your mind also. Okay, now the question number 3, let's see. It increases savings on water waste costs. So in this case, if you look at it carefully, let's see, give me 1 second, I'm gonna pull this up. So it increases savings on. So if you look at this one here, It's the singular present tense. Okay, increases. So when you have that one, it increases the number of the singular noun. Okay, so singular verb has to be agree with the singular noun. Remember in the last week, we talked about the data are or the data is. So the same technique, it works up here. Okay, so you have to follow that carefully in order to answer these questions. So it's a singular present tense verb, increases, that agrees with the singular noun. It's composed, so it maintains the parallel structure. Okay, so that is increase savings. So C is the best answer. But if I choose a different answer, let's say if you say D, also increase, also it's basically the also it. If you look at it, this also it. That one is the beginning new independent clause that creates a comma splice. So comma splice, we're going to talk about it in our techniques. Definitely, we're going to cover that so it can make more sense to you. And if you look at it, choice B, savings increase. The savings increase doesn't maintain that parallel structure, so we can't take the B also. So in this case, C is the best answer. Good to go so far? So think about it simultaneously. Okay, that way we can make more sense out of that too. Okay, so that's the good option up here. How about next one, number 4? Let me clear this. Let's see, number 4. Now, number 4, if you look at it carefully, did they close the door? So the quantities which, so if you see that one carefully, so when you are setting off nonsense information, non-essential information, so let's say in a pair, let's say if you see the parentheses, the end, they started with like these parentheses right here. So a pair of parentheses needs to be used. Okay, anytime you have the non-essential information, so you can always use a parenthesis there. Okay, so that means choice is initially provides as the which is obviously there, and then you can say B is the best option in this case for B. Okay, so and let's see, you may ask like why it's not the D. The reason behind the D is, you see carefully, it has like, because it's like the semicolon. See the semicolon there? So when you write a parenthesis, you don't need a semicolon up here. Okay, so you don't need a semicolon up there. So that's the reason D can't be here. Okay, good to go. So you don't need a semicolon before that parenthesis. That's the reason you can't be that one. And obviously, non-essential information, you need a parenthesis. That's the reason C is not a right answer. So B is the best option in this case. Good to go. So think of those little things, and then as we go through, we're going to look at some techniques also, and that helps you to understand better. But some of you guys are doing really good. I want you to guys strongly suggest to you to start working on some practice test, because I see the scores. I mean, you can get your scores too. And if you're getting, 11 out of 11 or 10 out of 11, that means it's a time for you guys to try to work on the real papers. Okay, I can send you some practice papers on, some test papers, so you start practicing them. But if you're getting low scores, less than that, and then think of the concepts wise. Okay, concepts, clear the concepts. That's what we're gonna do anyway. And then you practice test. Okay. All right, so next one. So number 5, 13 million tons of metal So this one, basically, they gave you some, like, from the passage, you need to be, looking at this one. It says the writer includes the information, blah, 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 6 million or 10 million, 33 million. So if you look at it carefully, the information from the graph is given to you. It says 33 million. Okay, so if you look at it carefully, my graph refers to your graph. It's a 33 million tons of the food waste. If you look at the food waste, that's 33 million. So I have to replace that 33 million, 13 millions with it, 33 million, because it's from the graph, we're pulling that information. So number 5, D is the best answer. Okay, but obviously the rest of them, you can see them, but they're all talking about the rubber textiles. But this one is the, what you call the food waste. Okay, that's what we're talking about it. Because the food waste is discarded in the US landfills from 2009. So which is consistent with the discussion we have it on the paper, on the passage. Good to go. Next one, number 6. So last class, I'm clear this, number 6. So in this one, how about I can ask one of you guys to read this one? Is that right? I can put them on the paper. Question number 6. Let's see. Bhavani, can you please read this one for us?
The writer wants to support the paragraph's main idea with accurate, relevant information from the graph. Which choice most effectively accomplishes this goal?
Okay. So if you look at this question number 6, and which information is more to accomplish the goal? So less class, if I look at it carefully, again, refer whenever you have some graph is given, always refer to the graph. That's the best way to go with it. So when you refer to the graph, and that's the, if you look at it, the more food waste, that's what we're talking about. And this is all about the food waste. Okay, so if you look at otherwise it's like there is more food waste than any other landfills. Okay, so in that case, and we can go with the 6 is C is the best option, because they're talking about food waste. There's a lot of the food waste in there. Okay, but if you look at it, why not A, B, or D? Because if you look at the graph indicates less glass or the metal or any other waste. Okay, but it is, as we see, is more food waste is referencing to the entire passage there mostly. So that's the best answer there. Okay, next one, question number 7. Let me see, I can ask one of you, and there's no question in this anyways. So number 7 is where's, comma, then. Now, if I look at it carefully, the words and comma and then. When you're looking into this question carefully, and you don't need a comma between the comparative adjective, which is worse, and then comparative conjunction then. So you don't need to have a comma between. Okay, so this is all the difference between. Let's say if you look at it, if you look at the other ones, let's say the other ones, let me write it down the answer so you can see it. So the number 7 is you don't need a comma between, but if you, wait. So what is it between then and then? Okay, so if you look at it, the word then, that's indicates like when. Okay, so, and it's not used as a comparison. Okay, So that's one of the reasons we use a worse than, not then. Okay, makes sense? So that is the important part for the question number 7. Let's see next. This. Okay. Number 8. Contribute to the release methane. Okay, so in this case, if you look at it carefully, the tense, the grammar you're basically looking in here. So contribute. So it's, if you look at it, contribute, this one is agrees with the number in a singular noun, which is the, and before you see this is a material, and the present tense verb is consistent with the other present tense verb in the passage. So it's always think when you're reading the passage, it is what type of tense they use it. Are they talking about something happened before? Or are they talking about the future? Or they're talking about the presently it's going on. Okay, so it has to be consistent with the entire passage. Okay, and we're going to talk about these techniques as we go through. As last time we talked about the plural and singular, same way you can add more to it. Okay, so in this case, contributes, it's maintains that the tense out there. Okay, next one, number 9. Number 9 is the greenhouse gases. Let's see. Sturdy, influential, commanding. So the potent. So the potent means strong or powerful. Okay, so see which one does make sense in terms of that. Okay, so if you say sturdy, they refer for the physical strength. If there's like, okay, I have a study chair, that means it's a physical strength. Okay, and then if you look at it, influential, that refers like power of a person. Okay, let's say I influence your, like, so the influence the decision making, like that. And then if you look at it, commanding is like it doesn't, the greenhouse gases, and that doesn't work. So it's, potent itself, it's strong or powerful. So that's good, no change. So we don't need anything up there. So 9 is that's a good answer for that. Okay. All right, next, let's see, clear this. All right. I'll ask one more. Anjali, can you please read this one, number 10?
Yeah, sure.
Thank
Which
you.
choice provides the most effective transition from the previous paragraph?
So it's always, again, another one, as we get through these passages, we are going to talk about this technique also. Always look at a good passage always have a connection to the previous passage. Okay, so always make sure what's the, how the previous paragraph leads to this next one. It's always important to see that too. Now, if you look at this one, number 10, that's it. Gas. And then we have the options is not changed. So if I look at this one carefully, the C makes better sense. The reason behind, if you look at it, armed with this fact. So this is a good transition from the last paragraph to this one, because last one discusses about the various substances end up in the landfills. And then that results, obviously, the methane gas. And, it's released from the organic matter. Okay, so that transition comes from that. Yes, Sarah?
How is it not B?
How is it not B? Okay, so let's talk about that too. Good questions. So if you look at it, the other ones, if you look at it, either A or C or A or B or D, because they don't offer the transition. You're looking for the transition from the last paragraph to this paragraph. Okay, so the connection between the problem you identify in the last paragraph, how do they address on the next paragraph? Does that make sense? So, and that's
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons, not the government regulations, but it's like these are the facts. That's what we're looking at it, because the paragraph, the transition also introduces to discuss the laws that some of the cities may institute to control the landfilling composite or compost in the landfills to reduce the methane gas. So the transition, that's what we're looking. That's not the tough government regulations, but from the landfill through what facts do we have, then they can go with all the regulations. So we have to see the sequence will flow. And that's the important thing on the passes is always we have to look at it. Okay. And finally, the last one, the 11th one is let me move this one. No change nor but and. A is the best answer in this case. The reason behind. And we're going to talk about this technique also in our writing classes. And anytime you have correlative conjunctions like either or, okay? So they're always used together to indicate that there's one choice or the other. So either this or are, either or. So those are always go together because in the previously you see that either is there. So you can definitely go either or, they're all good to go. So we're going to give you that list. So there are a couple of them, we can use them. So either or, neither nor, some of those things are there. We're going to talk about in our class. But if in this question, so either or is good to go. So you don't need to worry about the rest of them. Okay. So the rest of them, like either nor or either but, either and, they're not the correlating conjunctions. So we don't need to worry about. And in this case, it's A is the good option for us. No change. Okay. Yeah, time to time, we can kind of like look at it in real test so that way we know how much we know. And then from there, we can see how much should I put efforts into it. Okay. And I'll send this recording to everybody in case if you want to go back and then review it, yes, please go ahead and do that. But if but stay focused with your homework. Since your Monday's holiday, definitely, start working on some homework. Put a little bit time every day. Put a study log that keeps you track. Like, that's one of the reasons we invested money on the software. It keeps you tell you like, hey, how much time did I study on the last week? Should I put in more time or, reduce the time on my SAT and then focus on my algebra 2 or pre-calc, calculus, or whatever. So it helps you guys. Okay, put a study log and complete your homework. And, we should be good to go for the test. Okay. I really want you guys to do the best in the classes too. Okay. All right. Keep, enjoy the rest of the break. I know it's a long weekend. Okay. Enjoy your time, guys. Okay. Take care, guys. See you guys in the next class. Yes, Faizan, you can stay. If you have a question, please stay so I can work with you guys too. Okay.